All right. Hello and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today, after I get this adjusted, we're going live and looking at Speedball Deluxe Block Printing Kit. That should be good. We're going to set up the live stream. You see that? Go right here. Let me edit this. Copy. Paste. All right. Have to go back. Click it. Click that. All right. I believe I could pin a message to the top. We'll grab that. Paste it. Let's see if there's a way for me to pin it. Pin message. All right, there we go. Okay. Let's make sure it's playing, or is that an ad playing right there? All right. Let's see how we are real time. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. We already have 3 viewers. We'll get started in a moment. I think we should be good there. Okay. So, I have been playing around with a whole bunch of different mediums and exploring a lot of different things. And playing around on Instagram, a nice lady had posted a kind of a time lapse, a quick video where she had taken some recycled plastic, etched an image into it, rubbed some of the intaglio ink into it, ran it through a press, and just showed how quick it was and how easy it was to do some dry point etching. So I picked up some dry point etching materials to play with. Then from there, and I'm still working with the dry point etching and experimenting with different aspects. Then from there, I'm gonna wipe my screen because it looks a little foggy. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Then from there, played around with monotype, where I was painting directly onto some non-porous surface, just plastic, and using the intaglio ink on there, wiping back, and taking my paper and doing a single print. And from that point, I was looking at mono print, which is, I believe, essentially a block print, and there's a change taking place each time. Anywho, eventually I was just like, you know what, let me just buy a block printing kit, play around with it, and have fun. And I decided that we would do a live stream of the unboxing and discovery of it, because I have never done this before. I picked this up off of Amazon for, I think, $48. I try to take all the Patreon donations and put it right back into art supplies, either the videos for the channel, materials, and all that fun stuff. It's about $48. I think it's a little bit more expensive on Blick and Jerry's Artorama. And Michael's, Hobby Lobby, other art stores might have it for about $60. So that's the price range that it's in. We'll open it up and then I'll talk about this other thing that I picked up. Okay, so let's see. I did look at a few reviews, and the reviews did say that the instructions weren't that good. So we'll see what type of instructions it comes with. It says on the box itself what comes in it, so we'll just go through it and talk about it. Little, honestly, yeah, just some pictures on the box. Okay, so it comes with a few different inks. Larger size for the black, which if you watch a lot of this channel, you know that I like monochromatic and I like that black. What is this? Ink extender, water soluble. We probably won't be using the ink extender today. Maybe we'll just be using a color or two if we get to that point. So primary colors, black, probably mix some browns and other fun stuff with it. We'll see what happens there. All right, so we have the inks. I think I looked them up individually. I want to say $4 or $5 on Blick. More expensive on Amazon for the single ink. I think that usually seems to take place. If you look at like a exclusive art store, you'll see cheaper prices for individual things like this, but a little bit more expensive on Amazon. I was in Hobby Lobby the other day and they had these on the shelf, but I don't recall the prices. So we got those. We got our roller, our brayer. I'm assuming this is about 4 inches wide. I believe it pops out for cleaning. Cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't want to break anything just yet. We have our cutter. Look at that in a moment. We have some lino. We have the Speedy Carve. Okay, so we do have some instructions. We have this guy, which I figured made it worthwhile, is that we have this little bench. What do they call it? By the way, if there's anybody watching and if you're in the chat, you know, if you have done these type of processes before or interested in, let me know. I just never had taken these in college. Okay, so a bench hook inking plate. Put the ink out on here, roll it out, and then we'll apply it. Figured that I could also use this with the mono prints as well as the monotype and the etching, just for rolling ink out. I was using my oil paint paper, my palette paper. All right, so we have that. Linoleum. Having never done this before, I don't know which side is the side you carve and which side is the side you don't. I'm not going to be playing with this today, as I only have one of them. So that is for down the line. I do think they're a little bit harder than the Speedy Card from what I read. Blick sells some house stuff where it is a gray on top of white. There's other brands that sell the blocks. There seems to be just a whole big market of these guys, but I'll save them for another day. In fact, let me put this in the box. Now here's the Speedy Carve. It's supposed to be a lot easier to carve. It's 4x6. I might cut it into a fourth. We'll see how it cuts if we get to that, or just in half and play with half of it. That being said, they are a little pricey. I think in person they were about, let's say, 3 to 4 on Blick. I'm just referencing Blick. I would say that Jerry's Artorama or Jackson's Art Supply probably has the same prices. I'm not sure what country Speedball is out of. I did buy this 8-pack of what seems to be a similar material. It was about $18 on Amazon. So I believe it comes to a little bit over $2 for each one of these. And I figured I'd purchase some of these. I have another scraper coming in, cutter coming in, so that some of my friends locally that want to try some art stuff, you know, I can hang out, we can carve, we can do prints, etc. It's kind of a very hobbyish art medium, it seems like. And my inclusion teacher had taken a little class at the local college at UL, a little seminar, and her sister, or cousin, sorry, runs one of the departments or is in it, and had done a lino cutting class. Anywho, I figured my friends would want to try that out. So I'm going to put the Speedy Carve away because I only have one of them. We'll see how this is. Does feel a little bit thicker. In the comments, in the reviews on Amazon, some people had said that it is a little bit harder to cut, but having never done this before, I can't imagine there'd be much difference. We'll look at the cutting tool itself. I did see sets where they had a whole bunch of these guys plus a cutting tool. Everybody in the comments and the reviews had said that this stuff was good, but the cutting tools that came with it were not good. So that was another reason for me to just go for a Speedball cutting tool. To reference my coworker, when she had taken a little seminar, apparently they used these type of tools and they were a little rough to carve. And then the guy had opened up like a leather case of Japanese made cutting tools that were apparently like butter. So that'll be something down the line. Okay, so our different cutting edges, I think they are numbered based on size. So 3, I think it's probably like 1, 2, 3, and 5. 2 and 5. Okay, just kind of laying them out and putting it together. There's a little collet in there. See if there's any useful information inside this, or if I'll just jump into winging it. Now, okay, just kind of breezing through it. Printmaking, white on black technique, black on white. So looks like it briefly outlines, if you carve your image, your relief will be your black. If you carve around your image will be black. If you want to get images on it, tracing, computer transfers. Laser printed images can be ironed on with a slightly warm iron. Interesting. Newsprint. Oh, you could press down to transfer image. Talks about the extender to create transparent watercolor or transparent color. So less opacity without losing the viscosity. So if you want to just make it transparent. It runs you through a little project. Maybe we'll just follow this project and then play around with that from there. And then it's in other languages and maps out what we have. Let's open this. We'll have fun. So once again, this is the Deluxe kit. This is around $50, $50 to $60 in the United States. And this material is the softer. If we wanted to cut this in half, I guess the best thing we can do is just see if scissors work, and then I could find another material, another cutting implement. Okay, scissors cut it. All right, so it's originally 4 by 6, so we're going to have approximately 4 by 3. This is for me to learn on. At the price of this material, if we had used the whole thing, it's probably not too much wasted. It's about $2 or $3 for this brand. If you buy a larger quantity, a lower price. Okay. So, project guidelines. On good quality paper, sketch out your idea using large, bold lines. You may also draw directly on the linoleum block with a marker or pencil. This is not linoleum. We'll try sketching on it and seeing what happens. Let's see what type of tools we have around. I was playing with these guys last night. The Stadler Mars Lunograph. Absolutely fantastic. So much fun. Yeah, this is already blunted down, so that'll give us large, bold lines. What type of image do we want? Okay, that draws right on it. Perfect. So, guessing we could spend more time planning out ideas on paper. That being said, sorry I'm umming so much. It's Monday afternoon after work, and I'd wanted to go live yesterday, but it just wasn't in the cards. And it is day after work, or the afternoon after work, so let's see. Anywho, I'm sure sketching out an idea, erasing, going back and forth would be a lot of fun. And I don't know, let's do an archway. Cut some lines. What other type of random stuff? I really feel like I should have planned this out, but let's try general shapes so I can figure out how to cut those. Let's see if we can erase. I have an electric eraser right here. Okay, you can draw right on it and erase. Okay, so we'll try maybe removing those materials. Let's do a big old circle. And another big old circle. Okay. Now, does anybody in the watching have any suggestions, any shapes you want to see, anything you want me to try out? I'm just looking to see what we can do. Circle inside. I'll fill this in black so we can practice removing a circle, and I'll put this in black so we can remove that area around it. How does that sound? Okay. We'll have lines to cut there. We could play around with a thickness of cut lines here. We can try small divot cuts and see what happened there. Maybe even just mark along. We'll use the narrowest and see how narrow the lines can get. All right, so I have a general idea, and then we could always come back to it and play around some more. A cat or something would have probably been a lot more fun or interesting, but I think this gives us different lines and shapes to play with. Does this tell us how to put together the cutter? A lot of people did comment that the instructions weren't really the best. Figure it out. Okay, we have the 2 rings on the inside. I'm going to take the number 1 cutter. Let's see. Set it on the inside. Let's see if that's the correct way to do it. That would tighten. How do we do that? That would not work. Okay. Go ahead and go in reverse. Set that piece there. Let's try it on the outside. No. Okay, I have it in here. Slide it in, tighten it. There we go. Okay. So that's the way to do it. So just to reiterate, loosen this up. The end that would slide in where the type is. You fit it in between the big ball and the outside plastic, that's the metal that's loose. I did read some reviews that people had difficulty fitting that end in, and I'm not sure if it was this brand or just some in general. Now the cutting, from what I have seen, is away from you, and we want a V shape, and that's going to help support the cutter, or so the block itself. So let's see what it's like. Okay, it does cut pretty easily. I think that I'm digging down. I'm not sure how deep to go in. I'm removing what I want to remove, the lined area, but okay, so let's see. I had watched this fantastic lady who had talked about turning the object, the block that you're cutting. So I do have variation in depth, and that variation in depth is going to cause a variation in line. I'm curious if you want to try to get a full, long, consistent cut. Probably not, because then, well, you'd want to, but I think the linoleum itself would have difficulty. All right, I'm digging deep. All right. I think the bold lines is anticipation of the fact that you're going to do a wider line than you'd think. Also curious the difference between this and the block printing, because people also call it rubber stamps. So I'm wondering if it's essentially the same thing, or if the material itself changes it. Okay. So the continuous line is a little rough. And like I had said, the curiosity of depth so here's just the number 1. I'm thinking that I should do the number with that after we get just these cuts. Seems like you could just break it away. Okay. So that's number 1. Let's see how easy it is just to switch. A little loosening. Grab a number 2. Number 2 seems just a lot wider in comparison. I'm going to cut the number 2 right here. Deeper. Right to the edges that it has. There we go. So that's number 2. Number 3. Okay, now this one is definitely wide. Okay, so number 3. Also getting deeper cuts. And I do have an idea, and I'll talk about it in a moment. Instructions aren't the best. There is information online. You could probably take a little one-day seminar, a few-hour thing. I'm thinking dig deep enough that this end and this end, those 2 sides, hit the material. And once you're down at that point, you don't go any deeper. That cut's really good. Wow. So I'm going to go back to the 1 and try that out in a few. This cutter, I have no idea what it would be called. Let's see if it says anything on it. Speedball linoleum. And number 6. I'm not sure. Maybe it's to do a different cutting motion. Let's go back to number 1. The switching of them isn't that difficult after you figure it out the first time. That's going deep with it to those 2 points that I talked about. There we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 5. This is sizes. Let's get a little decorative. See if we could just pull out little divots. I was thinking about I was looking at one for dry point, called a roulette. It's a kind of a roller, steel roller with little lines or mismatch in it, and you can roll and create a whole bunch of different textures really quickly. But the prices on that, one of them, but they that's for way down the line, I think, for a single piece. That being said, with mark making, I was wondering about steel wool. And with the cats have the brush. I was curious if you could kind of just stab into a material with that and play around from there. I think ultimately I'd want to experiment with landscape stuff as well. Let's grab our larger size. Gouge. Guess we don't want to dig like that. Okay. We can get some shapes. How would you cut this piece out first? Now, with safety first, try not to put my fingers in the way of the blade. And I'll use this finger to guide. This is using the number 5 to remove large excess once. We'll be able to get to printing today. This is just learning the materials and the cuts. I think whenever you're doing wide areas like this, as long as you have that valley shape still, should be good. Also makes me wonder how difficult it is for the linoleum itself to carve. This does pretty good. And this is the off-brand Speedy Carve block that I pulled out. This is my first time ever trying any of this. Alright, let's try just pulling a circle out. Keeping that left edge up and out will help with clean lines. Okay, cool. So in the chat and the watch, for those of you watching out there live, if there's any shapes you want me to try out, any cross hatching or anything like that, let me know. So far we're just playing with the different sizes and tracing lines, but we do want to experiment and see what final effects are going to look like. Let's switch over to a number 1. So it really doesn't matter what I do on this one, I just want to experiment. So if you have ideas, let me know. Are we out of focus? Let's see. Let me check. Okay, so now we're going to just carve this guy here. We'll try our other shapes, the 2 triangles that I put in, and I'll try some cross hatching. This one's not going too deep. Just being careful not to get my fingers in the way of the cut. But rotating your object that you're cutting is definitely the way to go. So there's that. Let's see. Let's just try a triangle. That's cutting the outside edges. I feel like I'm just digging in. Okay, so I was just using the number 1. Let's see if we can figure out what the number 6 is for. So it seems like if you loosen it quite a bit and then shake it some to try to get those little I guess, yeah, you can look down and see. There we go. All right, we have it has a blade on one side. I have no idea if this is meant to scrape towards or just to dig in. We'll just do that. We'll just dig in. I'll use this on a bigger piece in a moment. Definitely struggling. Okay, let's see what type of cut we can do with this, or if I'll just go straight in. All right, I feel like it wants to be used on its side as a slicing, but I'm just gonna have to look up this tool at a later date to see. All right, so we'll put this number 6 on the side for now. No more of that. Let's look at the number 1. And in a few minutes, we'll get to the printing. We'll do a little cross hatching right here. A little hatching. It's not super deep either. So that'll give us a good idea of how deep we need to go. think I want to continue these lines somewhere else, and let's do a little tic-tac-toe board right here. And yeah, I have my laptop on the side. It just seems out of focus. So if you're watching this, let me know if it's in focus or not. I'll try to figure out if it needs to be fixed. That being said, it did make quite a mess. Any other, okay, oh, edges. Let's just see what it's like to remove off the edge. I think that that's a, something that people would find either aesthetically pleasing or not enjoy at all. Let's try that. Once it hits the edge, it wants to come up. Might just be the elasticity of the material. So this is the number 5, just cutting right off the edge. And we'll try the number 1 off the edge. And like I said, if there's any other marks y'all want to see or me to experiment with or recommend, let me know. By the way, these cutters are easily stored in the handle of this tool. It's probably a nice, easy way to hit off the edge here, but it's not working. Okay, so that's all the cutting. We'll store them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that makes things easy. Store them. I do have this piece of this glass dip pen right here. Let's make a few divots with that. See if that has any lasting effect. That might open up a whole new realm of mark making possibilities. Okay, so that's the glass dip pen. Any other tools on hand? Here's an inking tool, but try that. Okay. I'll clean up all this in a bit. All right. We have our roller right here. We have our surface for the ink. In the write-up, it does say that it cleans up pretty easily. Let me grab some paper. I'm going to use that right there. And I have some drawing paper we can play with too. So I did read and see that you can do little test prints throughout, or you can kind of do a rubbing to see what your image is looking like. So let's see if that works here. Just gonna roll. I'm going to show that up close so you can see some of those line marks and that curve right there, so you can get an impression of what it's looking like rather than inking it. Okay. Let me just wipe the camera one more time. I'm sorry, guys. I'm new to this whole going live stuff, but I think with watercolor and all that other mediums, it'll be a lot of fun. Anything we need to do? Improve quality formula. Perfect. That's all I needed to know. I have no idea how much to put out. All right, we're gonna get it on our brayer, our roller. Being left-handed, I feel like I should have this on the other side. Okay, so this is spreading evenly on the roller, which is good. Hey, Hammy. Oh, okay, that goes right on. Well, I get hammy clawed in my thigh. I'm guessing if you don't have a super flat carving block, you can have areas that aren't going to get coated good. Hammy, not right now, bud. Okay, so we have a place to put this. Go right there. Did I set it up so that only members could comment and that nobody's able to comment? I think I'm realizing that now. I am very sorry if that's the case. Nobody said that, but I realized in one of the settings that might be why nobody's able to comment. Wow. Well, you learn, right? Watch out, bud. Don't I feel like a fool? All right, we have our piece of paper. Cut it in half. And we're just going to stamp it. Well, I want to make it all special. I don't have to stand it up since Hammy's all over me. So once again, those of you that are watching, I apologize. I don't think I set it up where people could make comments. Let's see if there's a way I could change it on here. Hammy, I need you to stop, bud. Participants, no. Back. Well, let me set the options. Edit title and description. Really, it only lets me edit that. So I want you guys to be able to comment and interact. That was the whole point of this. And of course, oh, view in live control room. Okay, view our activity. Okay, I'm going to go to I think an ad. Nope. Am I just ruining everything right now? Customization, there we go. Anyone can send messages. I am so sorry about that. Golly. So if you're watching, shoot me a comment to make sure that works. Okay. And we'll get to making this print in a moment. Yeah, Hammy, get off, buddy. All right, we are gonna dive in and try this out. If I go back here, I'm. Okay. So, ink is rolled out. Got a piece of drawing paper. And we'll make our print. And I want to be able to see it live while I do this. And YouTube is running a commercial. All right, here we go. Put that on top. I'll just use my hands. We'll experiment with different things, different pressure, maybe a book, and we're gonna pull the print. Okay, so first attempt. All right, not bad. It's pretty light. Let's see if we can figure out why it's so light. I did take a few moments while I was trying to set things up in order for it to take place. The cuts along the edge, you can see where it comes in, and we can see the marks from the glass dip pen. You can see our variation in line. This is the 1, 2, 3, and 5. This is the 1 coming off the side. This is the 5 on the other side. Let me put out some more ink. I'm going to ink this up heavier and now play. Hello, Miss Cheryl. How are you? I messed up this live stream by setting it to members only for the chat. I had meant to have it where like subscribers and everybody could chat. So I'm still learning the ins and outs of the YouTube live streaming. I hope all is well with you. We're rolling out some more ink. We're going to pass it back over. We're going to try a darker print now. And here's the first one, but then I fiddled with the YouTube, trying to get everything to set up good. That corner isn't as dark, so we'll see how that affects it. Put our paper right down. This would be a great way to apply consistent pressure across. And we'll see how something as simple as that goes. Pull our print. Feels stickier, so definitely more ink. You can see the deep black that takes place. And this is definitely getting a lot better. So a deeper black. This area, if we look at the block, is still dark, so I didn't get it as deep as it could have. So let's spread out more ink, and we'll jump right into another print. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. There we go. We'll use another piece of drawing paper, which I'll cut in half. We'll now try a book to put on top for weight. And I had grabbed a whole bunch of books. Now I don't know where to put any of them. Place that right on top. You can use the paper itself. Okay, let's see how this stamps, just pushing down. Okay, let's pull our print. And there we go. So I'm not getting consistent pressure. So that's something that I'm going to have to solve. If you all have any suggestions in the comments, let me know. So far, here's our first one on the left, and our second print on the right, in the middle, and our third print. We'll take a moment to look at these, and then we'll play around with some more ink. So, right after I apply the ink is when I want to jump into it, because there was that hold off there, and I think that's what caused it to be a little bit lighter. Our second one, I used the pencil case to push down, but there might have not just been a good consistency of the pressure. And we see the same thing happening here. I could use the back of the spoon on the next one. Looking at them in detail, just simply stabbing with the dip pen makes a mark, so that's a good sign. The variation in line in the tools that they give are readily apparent with the 1, 2, 3, and 5. These are the 5s on the side. These are 1s kind of gouging out. I felt like I was making a mess of cutting these triangles, but at the end, all the mess on the inside really wasn't a big deal, so I don't have to worry as long as I'm getting down into it. It's just getting the clean cuts around the edges. That seems to be the main thing. Let's move these off to the side, and we'll try one more. So this is interesting, a lot of fun. The kit itself, I had gotten off of Amazon for about $50. Definitely curious about how much ink we should be putting on top. The little pieces on the desk are getting picked up. But it does seem to spread it out pretty evenly. Or the paper on the table and apply. Oh, okay. Let's try that out. Great idea. Put our paper here. We'll try printing it upside down. This is my first time ever trying this relief printing or carving of any type with this method. I just a few days ago tried dry point for the first time, and I've been trying the monoprint. So this is the first time doing a block or relief print. And I guess we're essentially just stamping down. All right. Now let's pull, well, I guess I could flip the whole thing over. Yep, that definitely was a great idea. Thank you so much. Because here's my first one. Here's the second. There's the third. This is the definitely best one out of all of them. Thank you. That's the great thing about these live videos. Real-time experimentation and learning. Let's do, well, I'm curious about cleaning off the block. There might be instructions on that. I did bring a little bit of water out. So let's see how water soluble it is. Oh yeah, that comes off easily. We could try a different color and then call it. I think that's a big thing in the printing world, the oil-based versus the water. The oil-based might have solvents that are involved in it, while the water-based or water-soluble cleans up easier. Let's wipe down the brayer and clear our ink off of here. What color should I try? I have yellow, red, and blue. I'll let you all pick. Dip in there. All right, that cleans up good. Just wiping off the brayer. Oh, really? That sounds interesting job. Okay, so as a former deputy sheriff and fingerprinting lots of hands, a little dab works better. Roll the brayer. Spread the ink with longer strokes back and forth, coating the brayer more evenly. All right, will do. As a school teacher, whenever you get hired, you have to get fingerprinted, but I think the one that I did was digital. All right, I'm going to try the blue. I'll put a small dab out. We'll see how much we can spread it. It looks really vibrant. I don't know if that's a small enough dab or not. That's about the size of a dime. Okay, let's spread it out. Try to get heavier ink can cause smearing, losing detail. It may be the same for block and paper. Yeah, I noticed that with the mono type, where the first one that I tried was just so splotchy, and then previous ones I wound up rolling out with a brayer, and I think that helped. So I think you're definitely onto something with that. So probably the same thing here. Okay, it looks like it's evenly coated on the brayer. We'll grab our paper. Seems like you can definitely go through a lot of paper experimenting with this. All right, rolling that out. Thinking that it could have been cleaner. And we are getting ink in different spots, but that's okay. I didn't lay it flat, but let's see. Okay. I'm just going to use my fists, and I'll come up with a better method for pressing this down. They have small block presses. I think they start at $80. Don't know if I can go for one just yet. That'll be something to consider. All right. Blue is nice, but it's light here, so I wonder if the application could have been heavier, or should have been heavier if I rolled too light. That might be the fine details. It could have also just been the pressure. All right, that should be nicely coated. Let's see if we can get a darker blue. I'm just going to go directly notebook on top. All right, let's see. Flip it over. Oh, it popped right off. Okay, so this time we did get a darker one. I think at this point it's just application and the pressure. But overall, I am very excited with this method. The kit itself comes with a lot, and as we saw with that, we really didn't use too much of a dab of ink, so I think with that dab I could probably get a few prints. So that'll be for future experiments, seeing the longevity of it, just the dab and how many prints can take place, as well as figuring out the best way to apply the pressure. Paper wise, I'm just using cheap drawing paper. art store brand. You can play around with the textured paper and watercolor paper in the future, but right now, just getting it down pat and figuring out the methods. I don't want to go through all my paper supply, but I think the mixed media paper would probably work well, so that'll be something to do. These pink blocks, they cut easily. Do get a lot of the detail with it, the cross hatching. I'm curious where I should go next with it, but I'm probably going to wrap the video up. I'm going to start cleaning this up now. So far for $48, I think it's definitely worth it. Yeah, rolling pin. I had looked online at rolling pin, and they actually sell one that sits on the table and rolls on either side, and that's an expensive piece of equipment. All the printmaking equipment itself seems to be expensive, but the other things that you can kind of do instead of buying stuff specifically for it seems to work really well. For example, I got this guy off of Amazon, this spaghetti roller for $25, and that works for small etching prints. So I've been doing that, and one of my coworkers that can weld, I was talking to him about making a hand roller. I just have to find the stainless steel for it. But overall, like for the kit itself, for the tool, so I think the tool is about $13 to maybe $12 to $16. There's the 4 inks. There's the extender, but I think it also just kind of makes it more transparent. Yeah, I need to hit up some flea markets and see what I can find there. This also seems to clean up pretty well. I might next time just do some water in the sink and see how that goes. I feel so bad. When I started this video, I didn't realize I had set it to where people couldn't comment, and I really wanted to make it really more interactive, but I think what I'll do is just later on this week or next week do a live session again and either have a prepared drawing or have suggestions given and play around with that. I like the variety of lines that's possible with this, and the bottom of this print just shows it really well, just the 1 to size 5. I think getting that smooth, a cut carve on the edges of lines. Hey Hammy, watch out bud. So getting the smooth cut carves, I'm not sure if that's just takes a skilled hand or if it's possible. That's something that I definitely want to explore as well, because the lino type and the prints seem to have a feel to them when you look at them online. Like if you were to look at images online, if go into Google and type in lino prints, and you can see the jagged edges and cuts that's consistent from picture to picture, then every so often you see something that has like smooth flowing lines, and I'm curious if that's just a matter of patience, skill, years of doing it, etc. But these guys, buying them in bulk, like the no name off of Amazon, is cheap. Oh, thank you, I appreciate that. I know you're here for the last live, and I want to do the live videos more often. I had done a little survey. I think that I might start looking at them on Wednesdays. Sorry, not Wednesdays. Why would I say that? Sundays. But I'll make an announcement on the YouTube about that. But like just doing things like this and different ideas, I wanted to show you all real quick something that came to my mind the other day when playing with monoprints, monotype. So I'm going to put these guys on a side for now. We'll play with them another day. But here, I think is an in-camera photo negative that I had done. And when I developed it, I turned the bathroom into a little dark room. Developed it, put the image flat on top of other photo paper, showing my light, and it made a positive print in the dark room. Here's a monotype print that I made, and having them side by side looked very similar. And I started thinking, what if I put this upside down in the dark room on top of photographic paper? Can I get a then photographic image of the inverse of this? So you never know what type of crazy ideas and things that you can pick up with just art and just experimenting. By the way, while I have this out, this was yesterday. I'll use the back of my hand. It seems to be pretty dry. People are saying they had some difficulty with dry times with these. Let's check dry time on this. This is the most recent one. A little bit of blue. Let's try the heavier black. This is when we turned it upside down. Feels a little tacky. Yeah, I'm getting some transfer over. So it'd probably need to sit or hang for, I don't know, probably an hour, I guess, to try it out. So anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed. I'm gonna sign off in a moment. Thank you all so much for dropping in and watching, and hopefully once I get through the growing pains of the live streaming, we'll have a lot of fun. Except, well, I mean, I'm already having a lot of fun. We'll have even more fun. Maybe we even do painting sessions where people are painting at the same time and asking questions real time. So on that note, thank you all so much, and I will talk to you all soon. Y'all are great. Bye. Now I just have to figure out how to do this.